Guys, welcome to another episode. Today I just want to show you what we are working on during this festive season. As my brothers and sisters are celebrating, me, I'm busy here working on something. As I told you guys, or maybe to mention something that I've never mentioned before, most of the times people do constructions. During the construction phase, there are actually so much constraints in terms of funds, so they end up entering their houses unfinished, or whatever they do as a finished product, it is not to their taste or to their preference. So they end up, after staying for a while, maybe probably a year down the line, 6 months down the line, 2 years down the line, others even 5 years down the line, they come up and settle in terms of their finances, and they want to revamp their spaces. In this particular project, this is what actually is the case. We are here to revamp a kitchen, one of our major or one of our strongest points. We are revamping the kitchen to attest what is happening. We are actually demolishing an existing kitchen that he did specifically just to enter and settle in. But right now we are coming in with a beautiful modern kitchen, and in this episode I just want to take you through what we are doing, the steps. Currently we are still in the preliminary stages, but I want to give you a glimpse of what to expect and what the client is expecting, what we are expecting to give, and even what my team is expecting to see. So stay tuned, let's walk in. Guys, we are here. This is the kitchen. You've seen some guys offloading or removing some carcasses that we have already demolished. So this is what is happening. There was an existing kitchen here that had been done. Not so bad. It was well done, but my client is looking for something very modern and very well done. So what we have seen here, after the demolitions, we have actually one of the most important thing is actually the plinth. The plinth area. Normally what happens when you're doing the plinth and you're doing the skirting needs to match this other skirting. So in normal cases, this skirting runs from this side and goes around all the way to the plinth area of the kitchen. So if this is 100 mm, the plinth area for the kitchen should be 100 millimeter. So on this particular side, what had happened, actually this plinth area is around 70 to 80 millimeters, and for purposes of uniformity, we are trying to demolish and bring it back to 100 millimeters. Then the next thing, this plinth area, normally the kitchen cabinet, that is the low level kitchen cabinet, when you're building up a low level kitchen cabinet, it should be 600 millimeter from the wall. And when you're doing now the details or the specifications, the plinth area is supposed to be 540 millimeter. 540 millimeter, that gives you 540 when you're doing the skirting. The skirting takes roughly around 20 millimeters. That is if you are using tiles, because mortar takes 10 millimeter and the tile takes 10 mm, adding up to around 560. 560, when you add now the boxing will come to around 580, and then the door panel that comes on top gives you 600 millimeter. Then the top, that is the granite top. The granite top will be roughly around 620, overlapping slightly from the kitchen door by around 20 millimeters. So each and everything has been done in such a way that the granite is slightly overlapping the cabinet by 20 mm. The doors are at around 580 or 600, and then the skirting goes back. So you don't normally see the skirting on the same line with the cabinets. Again, another issue is at times when people are doing these construction works, or when people are building up, if you are not in harmony, everyone does not know the next person coming in. So the person who is doing the plinth, if they don't understand the details of the kitchen, then they will give you plaster or they will give you the plinth the way they understand. But when they are in harmony, then everyone understands and knows that this guy requires 560 or 570. So you might blame someone, but in real sense, he did not know. So that is what we are going to amend here. We are going to amend the plinth so that it comes from the 600 to 540 all round, and then now levelize it in such a way that all the levels are 100 mm from the floor level. Other people will call it 4-inch from the floor level, and it has to be uniform all the way, because now when you're installing the kitchen cabinets, you have to take the levels, and the level sometimes you take it with gravity or you take it with the laser. When you're taking it with the laser and the floor is not uniform, then the kitchen cabinet level will not be the same. So that is what we've done here. And then now the next thing is probably the materials the client used at that particular point were materials he wanted to use because of his funds or whatever ability he had at that particular time. But right now he has come to a level whereby he feels he needs to get a modern kitchen. So we are going slightly a higher level. So guys, let me take you through the layout of what we are going to install here. So the first cabinet, that is the 800 mm cabinet, which will be the dishwasher. Then the next cabinet, which is roughly around 1 meter, this is the cabinet for the double sink. So the double sink comes here. Then we have one cabinet of 500 here, which is a corner cabinet accessed all the way to the other side. And then we take a return whereby we have the high levels and the low levels. These high levels immediately on this line all the way to the other side, these will be drawers. So we have a drawer here. Immediately after the return, we have drawers, which will be 800 mm, and immediately after the 800 mm, we'll have a spice rack. The spice rack stands in next to the cooker unit, which is a standalone cooker and oven. So when you're cooking, you pick your spices from here. It's a drawer, it's a draw out cabinet, and then it has a spice rack. So there you pick your things, do your things here, then put them back. On top here, we are going to use actually the appliances. We are maintaining the same appliances the client had. So we are building up something on top of this so that it's a bit beautiful and it stays where it is. We are also contemplating to reuse the wall tiles so that we don't constrain him so much. Then immediately after the cooker, we have another drawer in the corner, and then we take a return. We will have a door in this corner, and then we have high levels going all the way to that side, and then they take a return with one door. Then immediately after that, we have a tall unit cabinet, which normally houses the oven and the microwave. Then it has a storage on top and storage below. But because we have an oven in this standalone cooker, we will just have a microwave here, and then the rest we will use it as storage, which I also want you guys to stay tuned so that you can see the end product on how we will go. We'll do this, we'll make this thing look like and how functional it will be. Then immediately after that, we are going to have a double door fridge, all inbuilt. So we are inbuilting from this corner to that side. So the double fridge comes all the way to somewhere here. Then we have storage on top. Then we have the panel molding on top. Then next to it, we have the tall cabinet, which is attached to this side. And then also in terms of the look, we have the low level look and the high level look. So it's darker on the lower side and lighter on the upper side. All this you need to see during maybe once we have finished the whatever. So this cabinet is darker on the lower side. It comes onto the tall units all the way to the 600 mm cabinet for the microwave and oven, and then it stops there. And then immediately after that, where we have the 350 millimeter deep high level cabinets, we start the white cabinets all the way. Then we have the darker cabinet lower, and then a lighter top here. All these to complement and to make it look beautiful. Guys, I want you guys to stay tuned so that you see how we are going to tune up this space and make it as beautiful as possible. Once again, let me not forget to give you a thumbs up, and do not forget to hit on the subscribe button so that you get the notification of any channel or any clip that we post on our YouTube. And do not forget also to subscribe to our social media pages at kthinteriorz, where style meets elegance.